Hello, good morning, ahoy there. It looks like this week the long-awaited monsoon is finally on us. I'll show you out the window. I don't know if you can see, but it's quite gloomy and overcast out there and looks like it's going to rain anyway. In fact, it looks like it has been raining. So I'm not going out in that because even though they say there's no such thing as bad weather, only the wrong clothing, my camera's not waterproof and I don't want to risk it. So, I sound a bit hoarse. So I'm staying home and I'm not going for a walk. This is my hallway here. I did once when I was bored. I walked this hallway just to see how long it would take to do 10,000 steps. You can tell I had nothing to do that day. And it took quite a long time. There's 25 steps from that end to that end. And so that was what I did one day with nothing better to do. And yeah, I got 10,000 steps. I can't remember how many hours it took now. It might have been 2. I can't remember. But I had a podcast on, so that helped. But what I thought I'd do is, this week, instead of going out, is, do you remember, I don't know if you remember last week, I was talking about my cholesterol levels, which, now I've said that out loud, it sounds like something someone would come up to you in a pub and say, and you say, I really don't want to know. I'm not interested. But nonetheless, I am. So, my cholesterol was high, which is why I started doing these videos. My cholesterol and blood pressure were very high and the doctor said I had to bring them down. So he said the best way to do that, because I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I didn't really eat anything too bad, but I guess the odd samosa here and there adds up. But it was mainly stress and, if I'm being honest, diet. So he said, we're going to put you on statins. I said, no, I really don't want to go on them. I'd rather manage them myself. I don't know why I don't want to be on them. I just don't want to be someone that's just reliant on medication going forward. I'm getting older now, I'm 52. I just don't trust them completely. I don't know why that is. I've got no medical training, I've got no reason to believe that. I just don't want to be reliant on these tablets going forward, saying, oh, I have to have my tablets all the time. I don't know anything about them, I don't want to be on them, I don't want to do it. So I said, I want to try it naturally. He said, by all means, try it. He said a lot of people do it and then come back and say it was awful, the diet I've been on is horrible and my cholesterol hasn't gone down at all, and they end up on statins. So I said, I'm going to try it, I'm going to give it my best shot. I don't want to be on them. I don't know what the side effects are of statins, but the things that I see, I don't like the sound of. So let me give it a go. So he said, off you go. I did. I've brought it down. I've brought my cholesterol down to a normal level without statins. I've had my blood tests twice since that first one, and my blood levels are now in the normal range. He said they could be tweaked, could be the odd little tweak here and there to bring them down even lower, but I can't help but think to myself, I'm more interested in low sugar than low cholesterol. The reason being, I think so many more bad things are linked to high sugars than high fat. By all means, I want to keep my fat as low as possible, but not rid it. Your brain's made of fat, and I get a bit concerned about that. I think your brain's made of cholesterol, and I do think that we need a bit of it. I know they've changed the count over the years and made it lower than it used to be. Again, don't know too much about it, but I just know what I feel in myself, and I didn't want that. So I'm quite happy with it being in what they would class as a normal range rather than a low range. So what I thought I'd do was, because I was talking to you about it last week, is show you, because I've got nothing better to do today because I'm staying in, is show you what it is that I eat on a daily basis. I'm not suggesting you do this, and I'm not a cook, and I'm certainly not a dietitian. I'm just showing you purely because when I went back, my doctor said, how have you done this? And he asked me to tell him exactly what I eat every day. And he was really quite impressed with it, and to the point that he said, well, I'm going to tell other patients about this. So he's going to tell other people about it, what I'm doing and how I'm keeping my cholesterol low. So I'm going to tell you if you're interested. But rather than just tell you, I've been busy in the kitchen and I'll show you what I've done. So here's my kitchen here. I'll just turn the lights on. And, oh, that's a bit bright, isn't it? Right, here we go. Let's see if we can do this. So this is what I eat every day, pretty much. I'm a creature of habit. So I go through this, or a variation of this, every day. So I'll go through it with you, This is a litre bottle of water. I drink 2 of these every day. Basically it's just regular filtered water, and inside there are 8 slices of ginger, 8 slices of cucumber, and half a lemon that I slice up, put in there, give it a shake, and I go through 2 of them every day. This is a juice, obviously. Looks like blood from a Hammer horror film, doesn't it? You can imagine Dracula getting stuck into that. It's got a little froth on the top. But it's basically beetroot juice that I put through the juicer. That was a really good investment, the juicer. And every day I have, or most days, a glass of beetroot juice with, that one's got lemon in it, so it's beetroot and lemon and ginger. And it's always a variation of that, largely beetroot, so there'll be like beetroot, carrot and orange, beetroot, ginger and orange or whatever. But that one's beetroot, ginger and lemon. Then, to follow it up, I have this. Now I don't always have it in this flute glass, I just put it in a fancy one to show you because we've got company. It looks like a Bloody Mary. It's got the same kind of hit as a Bloody Mary. I have this every day, and it's basically apple cider vinegar, a big pinch of cinnamon, and half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I have cayenne pepper every day in that, and my main meal every evening. I put about half a teaspoon of it in that. Then, so that's my drinks for the day. Then I have this for my breakfast. Let's see if I can get that in there. This is basically a bowl of 3 tablespoons of Greek yogurt, a handful of, just a few blueberries, half a banana, and some and some seeds. The seeds are chia seeds, about half a teaspoon of chia seeds, flax seeds, and pumpkin seeds. I have pumpkin seeds on pretty much everything I eat. I put a few pumpkin seeds in them, largely because I like them. You can cook them up and they get a bit of a nutty taste to them. They're really good for you, so I have them. Now this is my lunch, which I know, hang on, balancing act, really doesn't look like much. And it's basically, see if I can get that on the camera without it fouling up. Not quite sure how to move this to get it on there. It's I'll spin the camera around and show it to you. It's a protein bar that's made with protein powder, sugar-free chocolate across the top. You can put dates in it, but the recipe said to put quite a few dates in it to make it sweeter. I've stopped doing that because I think that your sugar levels are going to go way too high, I think, with that amount of dates. So I've cut that down. The protein powder is made with a pea protein, so it's a vegetable protein. Again, that's got very low sugar in it. I know it doesn't look like much. I want an apple every day. Every day I have that and an apple for my lunch. It doesn't look like much. It's surprisingly filling. It's got all the calories that I'd need for that time of the day. However, I do a sedentary job. I sit in an office all day. So if you're doing something a bit more physical than I do, you might want to up that a little bit. And on the days where I feel like I need a bit more, I have something different to that. I have a bowl of quinoa with roasted vegetables with it, and whatever kind of protein you want to put with that. I know there's no protein with that other than the protein powder. But on a day where I feel like, yeah, actually I need a bit more calories in me, I have that quinoa, roasted vegetables, and maybe some mackerel because I'm pescatarian rather than vegetarian. And then for my evening meal, I have, let's see if I can get this in, a variation of this. Now this is basically what you've got there, and I know it probably isn't going to flip your lid with how it looks. You couldn't sell that, I know. But it's basically roasted vegetables. There's chickpeas in there. I have a lot of beans, chickpeas, seeds, basically I have in everything. So you've got 3 beetroots in there, all chopped up, some roasted veg, some peppers, some chickpeas, some coconut milk to give it a bit of something. Underneath that, is a roasted fish fillet, which is a bassa fish, and on top of that I've got a chopped up avocado. So I have this every day. As I say, I'm a creature of habit. I have that for the main meal, a variation of that. So sometimes it's a different, instead of having chickpeas, it'll be kidney beans with something else and some lentils and tomato or something, and a different source of protein, but it's fish. Or sometimes I have tempeh or paneer cheese. So that's basically what I've done for a good few months now, and it's really brought my cholesterol down. I've lost weight on it. At one point I lost too much, but I was fasting. I was doing some experiments with 48-hour and 36-hour fasts to see what happened. And what happened was I lost quite a bit of weight. But it was like a liver fasting, and it did work. It did help. But so I might still do them every now and then, like maybe every couple of months, do a 48-hour fast. What else have we got here? I bought these on the recommendation of my doctor. He said that most male supplements, I don't know why he specified men, but he said most male supplements are basically made of this, or got a lot of this in them, which is organic fenugreek. I'd never heard of fenugreek. So he said buy that and start having it every day, about a teaspoon a day. I don't know if you've had it before. It's basically like the gravel that you get in the bottom of a fish tank. And he said you get used to the taste. It's not very nice. It's got like a curry-ish flavour to it. I don't really like it, but I just have it. I was just having it with that drink every morning. I just put a teaspoon in my mouth and drink it. And he told me, he said, oh, it will make your urine and sweat change smell for a little bit. But don't worry, because the smell is basically like caramel or maple syrup. It's not at all like that. Unless he thinks maple syrup tastes absolutely repulsive. It's horrible, but it's either stopped or I've gone nose blind, but nobody's complained, and I've not been spoken to by HR about smelling the office out. What else do we have? Oh, for snacks, and this again, it's not going to flip your lid, but I have these. I decorated that. I do commissions. It was meant to be for cereal. That's why I put Tony the Tiger on the front. But instead of cereal, again, I'd never heard of these. They're called fox nuts or macanas. They look and taste. I'm not selling this very well, but they look and taste a bit like, you know, that polystyrene stuff that when you buy something from Amazon and they pop out these like polystyrene peanuts. They're a bit like that, but they're high in protein. They're low in anything bad. And in a bind, when you're feeling a bit peckish of an evening, some of them really help. They do flavoured ones as well, but I've not bothered buying the flavoured ones because I haven't read the back of the packets. I'm just guessing that to have flavour in them, it must be salt. So I just don't. I just stick to them. The weird thing with eating like this is that because there's no salt and no sugar really in it, apart from what's already in it, everything that you eat tastes delicious. And I know it sounds bonkers, but I find that by depriving myself of all the yummy things like cakes and biscuits and all that sort of stuff, I no longer see it as depriving. That's a word that I'm using for you, really. I don't want them. I really don't want those things. I don't see them as for me. But by not eating them, your mouth and brain, I think, get together and do something else. And they're like, look, he's not doing that anymore. He's not feeding us that. Let's make the most of what he is giving us. And you really do start enjoying the things that you eat rather than just mindlessly snarfing things down. Saying, oh, burger or whatever like that. I don't want any of that now. It's been a good while now since I've eaten any of that sort of stuff. I just don't desire it. I can walk past it, I can look at it, I can see a really nice cake even and say, oh, I like the way they've decorated that. But I don't desire to eat it. I'm not saying if I did I'd explode or die, because I'm not, am I? But I just don't want them. But I dare say if I did eat them, it wouldn't be a problem, because it's not about what you do here and there. It seems to be more about what you do consistently. And I've done this consistently for quite a while. I'm not talking years, but I'm talking a little while now. And it has paid off. It really has. I can honestly tell you it has. So that's basically it. That's what I have in a day. The juicer, as I say, has been a massive addition to my kitchen, which is there. I don't know why I'm showing you. You know what a juicer looks like, but I use this a lot, as I say for juices. But every morning I get something that's come from this, and I trust them more than things like, I won't name the brands, but the things that you see in shops. Purely because I know exactly what's gone into that. I've just bought it from the market. I go and buy my bag of veg, I come back, and that's my week's juices done. I've also got a smoothie maker. This is like when you go around someone's house after school and they say, look, I've got an Atari, I've got a computer. So I'm not showing off, I'm just showing you what I use to make the things I have. That's a smoothie maker. I have a smoothie most evenings. I was having protein shakes, but I've stopped doing it purely because at the moment, I know I've got that, because I have the protein bar every day. I'm thinking, well, is it worth having the shake every day as well? So at the moment, I've knocked him on the head. But I do put things like, I get hang on, get this out. I get a great big watermelon every week, and I go through a watermelon of that size pretty much every week. Not just on my own. Again, it's up there with the snacks, so I might have a couple of triangles of that with some of these macana nuts, or I put them in the smoothie maker with a bit of a few bits of banana, some peanut butter, little bit of milk, little bit of water, and it makes quite a nice smoothie. So it's just things to give you, like, you don't feel like you're missing out on anything sweet or nice. So I have them. I share this watermelon. I don't eat the whole thing. There's a crow that lives on the balcony where we were a minute ago, and he quite likes it. So I share that with him. He gets about 3 or 4 chunks of that most evenings. But he's not about today because, as I say, it's going to rain. So I think he's hiding in that tree. So yeah, that's basically what I do though. That's I can't think of anything else that I eat. I don't. Coffee I've cut out pretty much. I was having not a huge amount. I was having like 1 or 2 every evening, and but it was quite a big mug, and I've cut that out now because, again, thinking of my heart, thinking I don't know if there's any benefit to it or not, but I just knocked it on the head. So now I only drink coffee at the weekends. I have one every Saturday, one every Sunday, and that's about it. That seems to do me. Otherwise I try these different teas, or just a normal cup of builder's tea I quite like. But it doesn't seem to have worked. It has worked. I can honestly tell you, I've been down to the doctors, I've had my bloods done. I'm not breaking any records. I'm not, going for marathon runs or anything like that. I do go to the gym, but that's pretty much just to get a sweat. I don't do anything there. I just knock about, really. But I do 3 sets of 40 push-ups every day. It's non-negotiable. The first thing I do when I wake up, go into the bathroom, do 40 push-ups, and then mid-morning 40 push-ups, and then late afternoon another 40 push-ups. If you can't do that, try doing them on your knees and just build up slowly. But I've found, there was a report that I think people who can do, I think it's 20. If you can do 20 or more push-ups, your risk of having a heart attack is so much lower than if you can't. So I'd really recommend giving that a go. And then what I do is, because I can't do it during the day, but I do it in the evenings. Every evening I go for a walk after my evening meal. So, eat, wash up, get dressed. Well, put your shoes on rather. You shouldn't be eating in the nud. But I, basically get my shoes on. That rain is about to happen. Get my shoes on and go out. And I'm lucky enough, there's a nice little park just down the end of the street. So I go for a walk down there. And that's it. But again, I'm not running. I'm not jogging. I'm not doing anything. Just a brisk walk. And that's it. It's like a brisk walk, 30 minutes-ish. About 30 minutes, including the walk there and back. All in all, it's about 30 minutes. Take a pocket of dog treats with me for any passing dogs. And that's me done. It's been enjoyable, actually. It's been enjoyable and fairly simple. Fairly simple. A bit of experimenting along the way here and there. Like, do I like this? Do I want to try that? But by and large, I find that's the simplest way of doing it. What I've just shown you there, what I'm eating. I can stick to that. The juicing, I quite enjoy. I like trying different recipes for the juicing. That's the good thing with it. There's so much online that you can say, well, I prefer it if it had this in it. Is that okay? I prefer if it had that. Try them, give them a go. But I mean, really, essentially, as long as you're doing it with a good intention and you're eating thoughtfully rather than thoughtlessly, not just mindlessly winding things into yourself, which I used to do, especially when I was feeling down or sad or depressed. I was the worst comfort eater, absolutely the worst. And I just find my comforts elsewhere now and sort of not overthink, if you know what I mean, but think over that. I don't feel the need to do that anymore. And it's been, I hate to say it, but fun. It makes it sound a bit tossy, but it has been quite fun finding different recipes to do and mucking around with the juicer. One thing I did do with the juicer, I kept saying, when you juice your beetroot and fruit and whatever, I don't know if you've ever used one before, but it fills up, it's designed to do this, it fills up with all the rind and the skin and the pulp of the fruit and veg. And I kept saying, well, this is a shame, just binning all this. And as you can see, I live in a flat, I haven't got a garden. I'm sure if I had a garden, it'd make quite good compost. But I haven't got anything to do with it. I was thinking, I have put it out for, we get cows walking up and down sometimes outside, so I've put it out for them. I don't think it's their favourite trait. But I thought it must be something to do with this. And so I looked online and they said, yeah, you can make a cake. You can make a cake out of it. And it's really nice, really low sugar cake. And yeah, you can. You can. It's not nice though. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. It was horrible. And it was like a joyless cake. I'd rather have no cake than a joyless cake. Horrible, like the limp handshake of the cake world. This weird apology of a cake. It was horrible. So in a way, if you're trying to put yourself off cakes, do that. But it was really horrible, and you had to eat it like an anaconda. Like you couldn't just swallow it; you have to go because it was so claggy. So I wouldn't recommend that. But otherwise, all good. All has been good. I do recommend it. I'm still recommending walking. I can't get enough of it. It's been the best thing I've ever got into. It's the easiest sport. It's not a sport, but it's the easiest pastime that I've done, and I really like it. It's very achievable and very attainable, and you can stick with it. So I do recommend doing it, and as I say, showing you what I've eating there, I'm living proof that has brought down my cholesterol levels and my blood sugar levels, and I don't get chest pains anymore, I've lost weight, and I'm feeling better than I've felt in years. Obviously, I don't drink either, so maybe that's helped. Stopping the drinking has definitely helped with that. But I'd stopped drinking already when my cholesterol was high. So this has definitely worked. I can definitely recommend giving it a try. Give it a go for a couple of months. Give yourself 6 to 8 weeks of trying eating something like that. If you don't want to, I'm not telling you what to do. But if you've got high cholesterol and high blood sugar and blood pressure and all that kind of stuff, and you want to bring it down, give that a go and just stick with it and make a little hobby out of it. You've probably got better hobbies, but give that a go. At least this one, isn't going to cost you a huge amount of money. It's quite easy to do, and I can honestly tell you that I've done it and it worked. So, well, we've been for a walk, haven't we, just around my flat instead of going out. So I think we'll call that quits for this week. Next week, if it's not raining, we'll go out. I think maybe the deer park will be quite nice. If we get out early, we can get out there and see some deer. Have a look at some of them. And otherwise, hope you're feeling good. Hope you're well rested. Hope things are going well for you. If not, I hope they get better. They will. Everything gets better eventually. Until next time, thanks for walking with me. Thanks for joining me. Always a pleasure.